Hi, it's Mark Coleman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. And we get questions all the time, and I want to make sure that you understand and can get better pictures. And one of the questions we get is about the battery grips. Now, back in the old days of film photography, we used to have a motor winder or speed booster that's screwed on to the bottom of our cameras. And that was a great thing to advance the film. Now, we don't have film in digital cameras today. They're digital. They don't have film. But we have a battery grip. And the battery grip is an accessory for most of the medium to top end cameras. So your basic cameras aren't going to have a grip available as an accessory, but it's one of those accessories that you may want to consider for your photography. So here you can see an Olympus, a Sony, a Fuji, and a Panasonic mirrorless cameras, all with a battery grip installed. You saw how it worked where I took the grip on and off. Some cameras are just that easy, some are not. So these cameras are great cameras, and one of the great things about the mirrorless cameras is that they're smaller in the hand. But a lot of you say, Mark, my hands are too big for a small mirrorless camera, so that's where the advantage of a battery grip comes in. So it makes the camera more handy. It feels better in your hand with the battery grip. 3 great benefits of using a hand grip. Number 1, it gives you the better grip, the better hand. Number 2, it allows you to have more battery power. So you can put a second battery in the battery grip, or you can put alternate batteries, like a lithium battery or a AA battery would go in the battery grip. So a better handle, extended battery power, and number 3, what I like, is the vertical release and control. Now we'll go into all these in a little bit. I want to show you with all the mirrorless cameras how great that works. You know, the big benefit here is to give you that better hand, but the other 2 work. Here you go. So Olympus, battery grip, Sony with a battery grip, Fuji with a battery grip, Panasonic with a battery grip. How do you do it? Well, this is a Nikon D750. And on Nikons and most of the cameras with a battery grip, you turn the camera over and there's a little rubber panel. It pops off. And the little rubber panel, very important, because you cannot get these if you lose it. If it's gonna worry you if you take it off and lose it, don't worry, because you're never gonna get another one again. We can't get them from the manufacturers. That just clips in here to the little spot in the battery grip to hold it. And now the battery grip screws on to your camera. So here on the D750, it hasn't added that much weight because all I've added is the battery grip itself. So now I have a better hand. I have the ability to shoot with 2 batteries in the camera. So there's 1 battery in the camera and a second battery now in the battery grip. So I now am going to have 2 to 3 times more shooting capability. So with your camera, if you can get 200 or 400 pictures out of a battery charge, you're going to get 800 or 1,000 pictures out of 2 batteries in the camera. One major advantage of using the battery grip. And for me, the most important feature of the battery grip is the vertical release point. Notice it has an on and off switch. Number 2, I have the same controls that are here on the back of the camera. So when I'm shooting in landscape mode, like this, and now when I switch to portrait mode, my hand is in the same place and I'm making pictures in the portrait mode without changing my hand position. One of the cool features of using the battery grip. On a Canon and a Sony, it's a little bit more difficult to put on. It's not just pulling off the little rubber strip. You have to take the battery door off. So you open the battery door, there's a little clip, the battery door comes off, the battery comes out of the camera, and then there's a spot right here on the grip that holds the battery door. So the battery door just clips right in, and it locks in, so now the battery door is saved, and the grip goes on. Now, just like the other ones, on Canon, you have 2 battery compartments. So you put the battery in, 1 or 2 batteries in. Now, one of the tricky things about using the battery grips is both of your batteries have to be the same. Now, I don't recommend a lot of aftermarket batteries, but if you're using the aftermarket batteries, you need 2 of the same aftermarket batteries of the same age with the same power rating. If you're using Canon batteries, of course, you're going to use 2 Canon batteries. That's what I recommend. You can either put in 1 battery or 2 batteries in the Canon to make it work. Now, what's the advantage of putting in 2 batteries? 2 batteries in all of the battery grips is going to speed the motor up a little bit. It's going to speed your frames per second. Usually you get 1 extra frame per second, and then you get 2 to 3 times the battery life. So now I've got the battery grip in, turn the camera on, photographing in the landscape and in the portrait perspective. Now I have to turn the grip on and it's ready to go, right? Turn it on, there's a switch right here. And now the grip is ready to go. Right there. I love using a battery grip. Thank you very much. Because the battery grip really helps me. So small lens is great. Can I have the 85 portrait lens? And I do a lot of portraits. And if you're shooting portraits, most of the time when I'm doing portraits, you've got the lens on, and then you're going to switch from landscape to portrait, and you don't know what to do with your hand. Having the battery grip makes it very simple to now make portraits. I can go to the back. On the Nikon, I can move my focusing point. I can lock the exposure. I can change the shutter speed and the f-stop without changing the hand on the camera. And one of the things that we need as a photographer is to make easy changes without having to think about it. When I put a bigger lens on, like the 70-200, right? It becomes even more important. Landscape, portrait. Another trick I'll give you with the 70-200 and the lenses with the collars. You bring the collar out of the way. So here I'm holding like this in landscape and in portrait. And look how easy that is with the battery grip. Now we're going to put a real big lens on, like the 200-500. And for this lens, I need a monopod because I can't hold this steady in my hand. So I'm going to put a monopod on. Or if you have a camera on a tripod, having the battery grip is really important. So here I am shooting in landscape with a big lens, bang, bang, bang. Now I loosen, roll the camera to the portrait perspective, and with the battery grip, I'm here shooting portraits, landscapes, portraits. It's so easy. And when you're doing wildlife photography, sports photography, when you're out, having the battery grip makes a huge difference. For me, when I'm photographing regular stuff, landscapes, I don't need the battery grip. I take the camera by itself. Just got back from a trip. I didn't take the battery grip with me. But when I'm packing for Yellowstone next month or for Africa in March, all my cameras are going to have the battery grip because I want the extended battery power. I want the better grip for shooting portraits because about half of my pictures are portraits versus landscape perspective, and having the battery grip really helps. So this is, people always ask me, Mark, what battery grip do I buy? I always recommend that you buy the camera manufacturer's grips. You can buy an aftermarket third-party battery grip for $70 to $200. I think it's worth spending a little extra money, spending $200 to $400 depending on your camera to buy the official camera maker battery grip. Sure, on the internet they're going to tell you it's the same thing, but it's not. We see problems all the time here at Paul's Photo with using aftermarket battery grips. We never recommend them, and I try to recommend that you use the original manufacturer's batteries in your battery grips as well. Any questions, write to me, mark@paulsphoto.com. Give us a call, stop by. We've always got the battery grips in stock, and I think it's a great accessory for all of your photo needs. Come on down to Paul's Photo. It's Mark Coleman saying thanks for watching and have a great day.